Alright, so why would I make all these videos? Why would I go to such great lengths to disprove this guy's claims, to call him out, to say that he's a fake expert, to say, dude, you're just wrong, you're misleading people, you're doing a disservice, man. Like, there's nothing wrong with looking at data and having conversations, but when you have as big of an audience as you do, hundreds of thousands of followers, every video you get just rakes in hundreds of thousands of views, and you're telling people, don't buy, don't do it.
Buying real estate is a bad investment right now. There's no sugarcoating that.
This is what's frustrating. Let me read you a comment that's from one of the YouTube videos we watched, okay? This young lady right here, this is a very relatable comment that I think a lot of people feel the same sentiment. Sadie says, as a millennial who was in the 8th grade when 2008 happened, I can't freaking wait for prices to decline. People in Washington state that own their homes are struggling just to pay property taxes because of the exponential increase in value. Yeah, man, property taxes have gone up. It sucks. It sucks that the government always does that to you, but there's one thing that's two things that are guaranteed in life, death and taxes. This is why I make this video, because of Sadie. You see, she made the same critical mistake that I did. Unfortunately, when I should have been buying cheap real estate in 2009 and 2010, unfortunately, I was only 18 or 19 years old and incapable of buying real estate at that time. Shame on me for not being better prepared. Sadie was even worse off because she was in the 8th grade in 2008 instead of a senior like me. Unfortunately, she's sitting here, she's taking this guy's advice and she's saying, I'm just gonna stand idly by and I'm gonna wait. And I got news for you. Nick's been making these videos for over 2+ years. All of 2021. But what you don't know is that 2021 was actually a great time to buy a house. Even though people were bidding things up, even though prices were skyrocketing, it was a good time to buy a house. Let me prove it to you. We're gonna jump over to this page real quick, and we're gonna look at mortgages. So this is just a simple mortgage calculator that anybody can pull up by going to Google and typing in mortgage calculator, all right? We're not gonna look at the taxes and the fees, we're just gonna look at the loan amount because depending on what state you're in, taxes and fees and insurance are different. There's higher property taxes in Texas, there's higher insurance costs in Florida where there was just recently a hurricane. So we're just gonna look at the principal and interest on the loan, the actual loan payment right here. So what I want you to pay attention to here is a $500,000 house, right? $500,000, that's above the national median right there. With a 5% down payment, which is very routine for an owner-occupied loan, $500,000 house at a 3% interest rate. Your loan is $2,003. You got a $2,003 payment on this $500,000 house right here. Okay? Now people might have been telling you, dude, you're overpaying. That house was only $400,000 2 years ago. $500,000 is way too much money. Okay, but your monthly payment is $2,003. Now let's see what happens when that interest rate goes from 3, which is what it was at the end of 2021, most of 2021, and even a little bit of 2022. When that interest rate goes from 3 to 6%, your loan goes up over $800 a month. $800. And so you're saying, well, but that's fine, Mike, because as interest rates go up, prices have to come down. First of all, interest rates have spiked all the way up to like 7.5% at one point. Have prices come down enough to offset the interest rates? Let's take a look. What do you think? Leave a comment down below. What do you think prices would have to fall to get that same $2,000 a month payment? Prices have to drop from $500,000 to $350,000 in order to be $1,994. That's within $9 of the other payment. Your price has to go from $500 to $350. That's a 30% drop in the price. 30%. And interest rates didn't go to 6%. Where did they actually end up? People were getting, I just got closed 2 loans with 7s. What happens when that's 7%? If you want that same $2,000 payment, your price had to go all the way down to $315,000 to be within $10 of what the payment was at a 3% interest rate. So when people say, oh, I don't want to overpay for a house, now's not a good time to buy, I'm not overpaying for this house, I'm gonna wait for prices to drop. Dude, that is almost $200,000 off of a $500,000 purchase price right there. You think prices are actually gonna drop 35%? I feel bad for Sadie because this is a very real transaction that's occurring here in Washington. My first duplex was $450,000. My girlfriend Marina just closed on her first house hack, a $500,000 duplex. She closed on it December 17th of 2022. And we were able to negotiate things you couldn't get before, like we were able to get an inspection. Can you believe that? We were able to ask for $17,000 in closing costs. We had them pay $5,000 towards buying the rate down for us. But if you're saying to yourself, I don't want to overpay, now's a bad time to buy a house, you're not even going to look at the market and recognize that according to most of this data out there, 80% of all buyers are saying it's a bad time to buy. That means 80% of your competition is gone. If it's gone, you get to be spoiled and say, I want an inspection. I want you to repair these things. I want my rate bought down. I want cash back at closing. We got all of that for her. All of it. Because we did the work and we understood the market. And Sadie, I feel bad for you. I don't foresee houses dropping $200,000 off of a $500,000 purchase price. So here's what you didn't consider. What if this $500,000 house doesn't go down in price? What if interest rates go from 3, like they have, they go all the way up to 6? But now what if this price, if it doesn't come down, if you were hoping it was going to come down and it didn't, and you wait a year, you waited a couple of years, and it starts to go up, and eventually it's, $515. Your payments, it just gets worse and worse and worse. At any time, in any market, there are people who are buying real estate successfully and people who are not buying real estate successfully. There's investors who are doing it the right way and who are doing it the wrong way. If the market goes up, down, sideways, stagnates, plateaus, whatever happens, there's people like me who know how to find a deal and make a deal come together regardless of what the market's doing. But when you take advice from folks like Nick, who's never bought a property, never closed a transaction, he apparently has issued loans and knows how to look up stats that are available to everybody and make really scary looking thumbnails on YouTube. If you take your advice from him, you're missing out on the cheapest payment for that property you'll probably ever get. Let me ask you a question. Let's say you bought it for $500 and you got that 3% interest rate and you were paying $2,000 a month. 3 years later, the economy crashes, the value of the house drops, and it goes from $500,000 to $400,000. Just knocks 20% of the value right out the property. Your payment stays the same. Payment's still $2,000 a month. Can you stay in that property long enough for the values to recover? Everywhere that values went down during the Great Recession, 2007, 2008, 2009, values plummeted. But by 2015, almost all markets had recovered. And by 2021, I didn't know a single market, a single house anywhere that was not above the previous highs. So yeah, worst case scenario. You buy the house, you get your fixed rate payment. The value goes down over the next couple of years because there's a major crash. Yep. You can't refinance, but you would have had a great rate anyways. You're never going to see that rate again. You can't refinance, and you can't really sell. You're stuck in your house for a couple of years. Worst case scenario. Yeah, that is your worst case scenario, is that you have to stay there. Most people stay. The average mortgage is 8 years. Average mortgage before someone either sells or refinances is 8 years. So even if you bought and it tanked, on average, people are staying for 8 years. Within those 8 years, it's gonna recover. And if you had to stretch it out a little bit longer to make sure you didn't lose money, that's not a bad sacrifice, because you at least got to build equity in your property over that time instead of lose money as a renter. I don't understand why he makes the points that he makes, but I take it back. I do. I think I know very well why. I think it's to get you to buy his app. I think he's feeding you fear because he wants to sell you security. Buy his newsletter, buy his app, join the membership on his channel, super chat him so that he'll do an in-depth analysis of your market. All of these different things put money in his pocket, allow eyes to come to his content. But is he actually right? Is he actually helping you? Are you actually getting the data that you need to make an educated decision? I don't think there's anything wrong with hearing his point of view. I just think that it's a very bombastic, over-sensationalized, ridiculously dramatic version of events that are occurring out there. And a far cry from the whole picture. You deserve the whole picture. People like Sadie deserve to be able to buy a house because it's very frustrating to just keep renting. And I fear he is going to create more lifelong, long-term renters who never get on the property ladder. And the number one best decision that you can make is to just get on the property ladder, start building equity. Enough time will heal all. In the short time, things may go up, down, or sideways. If you don't have a job that you feel secure in, don't buy a property. If you think you're going to be fired and unable to make your payments, don't buy a property or an investment. But if you're secure in your employment and you're reasonably confident that you can make your payments, get on the property ladder, recognize you're going to need to stay in that house 5 to 7 years if things got bad, 5 to 7 years, and that's how long you're probably going to stay there anyways, according to the data. Nick, you're wrong. Straight up wrong. If you disagree with me, send me a message. I know I'm a small YouTuber with only a few thousand subscribers. Let's have a conversation about it. If you think I'm wrong, you think I called you out unfairly, you think I was rude, don't sue me, bro. Send me a message. Let's have a conversation. I've been pretty cordial. I mean, I've been poked a little bit of fun at you, but you know, who doesn't? That's what it's about, all right? At least I didn't make a bunch of like, you know, maybe I will make a thumbnail with like you behind bars or something. Is that too much? You get pissed at that? I don't know if you're a snowflake. You are a millennial like me, so God only knows. Guys, appreciate you for watching the video. Hopefully it was beneficial. If you're a big fan of this guy, let me know why down in the comments, all right? Tell me where I was wrong. We'll see you next time.